Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonaut channel. I am Sester, and please, guys, let me know how my audio is coming through today, because I have moved back to the better mic. I think it should be working. According to StreamYard, it is working, so hopefully everyone can hear me and hear me at a higher quality than having to use the other one. Still not certain why it didn't work last stream, but what is up, guys? Thank you so much, Karen, for jumping in even while you were on the road to go ahead and hit the like and give the first comment. I appreciate that one. And I know Denver, North Carolina, and definitely quality weather for this time of the year up there. So hope you are enjoying your day driving around. Dwayne, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're having a great one as well. And always, Kukla, you are the best. Thank you so much for being here. And I saw some of your comments later on, so I'm excited for those also. And a beautiful day in the Windy City. Hey, it's always a little bit better when you have the wind. That always makes the temperature feel better, unless it's cold. So I don't know how cold it might be in Chicago today, but I imagine it's a little chilly. Mile High Trish, how is it going? And Crazy Chester, welcome, guys. Welcome. And Kukla, my day has been going well. I have been insanely busy. I am in the preparation period for both myself and Pops for the trips that are upcoming to go out and see the community. And so I am extremely excited for getting to go and meet people in Nashville this weekend. I cannot wait. It's going to be a good time for the PPN related event. I will be there with Pops for that one. And so I am really looking forward to it. I would say I'm kind of a homebody. That's just me. I don't like to travel. I love visiting places. I hate traveling. And so I am preparing myself. I am steeling myself for a 10-day journey as we hit both Nashville, Tennessee, and then Sao Paulo, Brazil, which I was not personally aware what was happening until a little bit into it, but I'm extremely excited for it. And a lot of time getting to talk to people that know a lot of different things. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to get to pick the brains of a lot of the different folks that are out there and discussing different topics inside of the political space. I know also that there are a fair amount of people that are decently excited to finally have somebody that is crypto knowledgeable showing up at some of these events. So I'm also excited to be able to share and hopefully help a lot of people with the learning process outside of the community, because I know there are so many more. And I know there's so many different talking heads that I feel like are not aware of what's coming. And I really want to get that message out to them. I want them to be aware when they're talking to everyone, people like Charlie Ward, people like these really big names that everyone is paying attention to in the political space. A lot of them aren't aware of what's coming. And I feel like that's a disservice to their communities for them to not know what is about to happen. And we're seeing it every single day. We have countless news articles to go through today where we see it more and more so occurring now. I don't really think that we have to look towards the future to imagine a world where cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology are going to be controlling our finance. It's happening now. It's happening in probably in parallel with other monetary events, but it's happening. And I'm very excited to get to share some of that information, and also, of course, to get to meet everyone in the community that can make it. And so if anyone is making it over to the event in Nashville, Tennessee this weekend, I will be there as well with Pops. Very excited to get to chat with everyone and and to get to meet so many people in person. I don't really, I'm part of the generation where my entire life has kind of been somewhat controlled by the internet. And I don't know, I'm a person type person. I enjoy actually meeting. I enjoy talking to someone. I have a hard time sending messages and going back and forth. It's just not how I work. I am a in-person, front to front, locking eyes type guy. That's how I prefer to interact with people. And so I'm really, really excited to get to go out there and meet so many people this weekend. And so for anyone that is going to be there, please do be looking around. And what is up, Callie Rose? Thank you so much for joining. And Donna, welcome, welcome. Pirate Too Godly. It's good to see you. You and many others are becoming a regular fixture in the community, and I greatly appreciate it. And I hope that means that you're learning a lot in regards to everything that's going on in the crypto world, because it's going to become more and more important. I really don't think we have much more time when it comes down to it. It's going to be one of those things where the vast majority of people are going to start learning about it. They're going to, everybody's going to flood into the Crazy Kryptonaut channel trying to start learning in 6 months, in a year, when it's already happening. And they're going to be trying to work from the get-go. And so I very, very glad to have everyone here that is going ahead and starting to learn before these changes occur, because that's going to make a really big difference in terms of how we view it and what we expect. Because even right now, as I was going through the news for the day, it's what I've been saying for forever. Like, everybody's freaking out about the Bitcoin Halvening and all these different articles, these talking heads, and they're coming out with the news, the quote unquote news, months after anybody that knew what was going on would already go like, well, this is happening. And now they're going, oh my God, look what we just found out, as if it was some kind of revelation that they managed to acquire. And when it comes down to it, it's just the progression. We're as in so many things, when it comes down to it with the news nowadays, I feel like we're reading a story. It's a novel. And we are just pawns in the system of this novel. When it comes down to it, we can easily predict what's going to occur. We don't know when. We don't know exactly how. But there are certain things that we can look at and we can make pretty good assumptions about. Oh, Kukla. Join us later with Whiskey and Wisdom. I'm finished making a t-shirt for the non-drinkers for Whiskey and Wisdom. That's awesome, Kukla. I'm excited to check that one out. I might need one so that some nights I can take a break. I'm certain that the liver would appreciate that one every once in a while. So, man, I may need to jump in on that one, but that's awesome. I'm excited to see it as well. Hey, I'm glad that you're planning on being there for it, Chester. I think that I'll end up there as well. Water and wisdom. Maybe that's the answer. Water and wisdom. Maybe tea and wisdom. A nice chamomile. Something to be a little bit relaxing. Start getting ready for bed. What is Jeremy? How are you doing, man? I know we end up talking so long each day in terms of work and everything related to it, but glad that you also managed to jump in for the stream. All right. Mile High Trish has a question. I hear from you and others, DYOR, do your own research. Totally agree, but I'm so confused on how and what to research in the crypto world. Can you provide guidance? Let's start with researching meme tokens. Well, Mile High Trish, researching meme tokens is going to be very, very difficult, but it is doable. And so there are things to look towards. And so what I always suggest to people in terms of the first starting points. All right. Are the team available? Do you know the team's real name? That means they're doxxed. And so you'll regularly see that DOX will be how it's spelled inside of the chat rooms, how it's spelled in terms of of everything. It's doxing or doxed. That means that the team is transparently available. That in and of itself is a good sign, because if they do anything wrong, they know they're going to get in trouble for it. And so right off the bat, that would be one of the things that I would look towards. That's regardless of whether it's a meme or any other cryptocurrency that someone tells you about. If someone tells you that you need to go ahead and throw money into some crypto and the team is not doxed, then immediately have a question mark. There could be a good reason. There are many projects that don't have a doxed team, and it's because of the business that they're in and what they're doing. And so they do other things to reassure the community about their good intentions. But so that would be one of the number one things to look at, Trish. Can you go to their website and see their names? Can you go into their Telegram and ask the team questions? Some of those things are the first things to check off. At that point, you really need to kind of assess if it's a meme token. It's going to be very hard to really assess whether they have potential future value. The biggest indicator of if a meme coin is going to do well is actually just community interaction. And so if you go in and you're buying something that is a meme token, it doesn't have a utility. They don't ever plan on having a utility. They are Shiba, they are Doge, they are Pepe, they are Slurf, they are Dog with Hat. These type of projects have no intention of giving you a utility. They have no intention of ever being a profitable business. And so your only way to assess whether a meme token is going to do well is based off of how well is the team managing the community. And so when you go in and you look at their Telegram, when you go to their Twitter, when you go to their YouTubes, any videos that they may have paid for or may have put out there, what you really want to look for is the community interaction. Is the comment section filled with people excited about the project? Real people, not bots, not the same message 20 times. Ignore those. Those are just bots. Those are paid for. That's just, they're tricking you. Look for real comments, real interactions. When you go to Twitter, look around and see if the meme token has people constantly talking about it, constantly tweeting about it, going to other Twitter pages and channels to spread the good news of their meme token. Look for things like that. When it comes down to it in regards to legitimate projects, Trish, you're going to want to look at it from a more holistic standpoint, where now you're going to be trying to look for what's the fundamental value, are they making money, and how well are they interacting with the community. And so always community is important. When it comes down to it, cryptocurrency is very, very much tribalistic. You want to look towards communities that have established an identity. That's one of the best signals that a project is going to succeed. If you go into the community and everybody is just immediately like super happy you're there, super excited about where the project's going, they're out there following every Twitter message, they're out there doing all these things, that's the best sign you can ever get. The other thing that I would always look towards, Mile High Trish, especially if you're talking about meme coins, is so you've checked to make certain that they're somewhat legitimate. You've checked to make certain that they're really interacting with the community. The community's excited. They've locked their liquidity pool. Another thing to look towards. You want to see a locked liquidity. And then the last thing to really look at when it comes to a meme token, the last and most important part is selling. The second you've made money, Trish, when you're up, take your profit. Because meme coins are extra volatile. They are nothing more than community and marketing. They're not spending money to make a product. They have no operational costs as a business besides marketing and community. That's it. And so that's the best way to figure out whether a meme coin is doing well. Look at marketing, look at community. Then you'll have the answer. And so, sorry for a very, very long one on that one, Trish, but I hope that has helped. What is up, Linda? Welcome and overcoming victory, Mary Jones. Thank you guys so much for joining. And David, I get my apple every time. I appreciate it, David. And well, judging by your profile picture, I am a little curious what you were out there potentially smoking on there, David. So I hope you are nice and chill and having a great one. Thank you so much for joining every single time. I think, David, that you're still winning on that one. I'm pretty certain that on the attendance record, David is planning on getting the award at the end of the year. And thank you so much for doing that one. Tim Fu, Nash Vegas. What happens in Nashville stays in Nashville. I'm not certain. I've never been. I have never been to Nashville. I've been to Tennessee, but I've never been to Nashville, Tennessee. And so I am excited for that one. I'm very excited to potentially get some barbecue. I've heard that Nashville and Memphis, Tennessee have a bit of a feud going in regards to their barbecue, and Memphis barbecues become a bit more famous. But I've heard that Nashville has got some top quality barbecue, and I'm excited about that one because barbecue down here on the island it's bad. It's really bad. They have yet to invent barbecue sauce, as far as I'm aware, on the island of Puerto Rico. The only thing I've ever found is like Sweet Baby Ray's. That's it. I have only found one place that quote unquote makes their own barbecue sauce, and it's Sweet Baby Ray's mixed with Texas Pete. If you call that making your own barbecue sauce, well then I guess I'm the inventor of many a different thing in my life, because that seems like a fairly loose definition. Kukla, absolutely. I always forget this one right at the beginning, but please, guys, do understand that everything on the channel is not for in any form or fashion to be considered financial advice. It's a matter of doing your own research. And I think this one really directly connects back to kind of what you had said there, Trish. When it comes down to it, I always want people to do their own research. I want the information I present to be useful. I want you to go out and employ it. But I also have to go ahead and do the legal thing where everyone understands that it is for education and entertainment. I think that you do have a really good video idea there, Trish, where I think I need to go through and actually make a video going through some projects and just saying, these are the green flags, these are the red flags. And that might help people out. That would give you another tool to utilize as you're going through and you're looking at different projects and somebody says, oh, you got to go buy this. You can go in and look at it and say, well, I want to buy it. I believe what you're saying, that you really like it. But look, the team has way too many tokens, or the team's community interaction is just no good. You know, I want you to have that understanding. And so that I gave you a general idea today. You know, we want to go through the social medias. We want to see how the team's interacting, and we want to see how transparent they are. But we'll do more of a deep dive on that one, because it does kind of directly connect to what I have to say at the beginning of every video and every live stream. It is a direct connection, because I give you information, I give you things to look out for, and then I tell you it's not financial advice. And of course, you all understand that's for legal reasons, but maybe we can go through and we can kind of narrow it down a bit more. And so, Kukla, as always, thank you for making certain that I read that one. As I have always jokingly said, I am too pretty for prison. And so I definitely do not want to accidentally represent myself as a financial advisor, because I am not. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to be, judging by the way some of the rules work for them. But Richard Gregory says, careful of the Brazilian women, Esther. They will be chasing you down. I will bring my running shoes, Richard. I will make certain to pack the running shoes and be ready to go. Be ready to go. I don't know if Pops will appreciate that one if he just sees me tearing off and leaving him behind, but got to keep myself safe. Got to keep myself safe. That's too funny, Richard. I will let you know whether that's how it works out down there or not. I know no matter what, it'll be my first time. It's my first time in Nashville. It's my first time in Brazil. It'll be my first time even sitting in the airport on some of the stops along the way. And so I'm very, very excited for it. Feeling very blessed for the opportunity to get to see some of the world and to get to meet more members of the community. And that is making it into, while I'm stressed out about everything that needs to be done in time for it, I'm very, very excited for the opportunities. Mary Jones, Esther, I know Tino will miss you tremendously. Miss Jones, I know I'll sound like a sap, but I think I'm more worried about leaving Tino alone than anything. I've become very, very close with this cat, and honestly, a very short amount of time. But I'm not happy about the idea of him being without, or me being without him for an extended period of time. Oh, Neil Brooks, how is it going? Coming in from Graham, North Kakalaki. We have got a decent amount in North. We've got right around Denver, and we've got Graham, North Carolina today. That's too cool. And apparently, Neil, according to Karen, the weather's not looking all that bad. Kukla, Zester, I will out to later. I have a package I'm putting together for you. Woo! I am excited. Zester, have you talked to Mel Carmine about XRP? I have not specifically talked to Mel. I do have a video that I am preparing in terms of XRP. I think people are really going to appreciate it. I'm breaking down everything. And so it's not going to be the most pie in the sky type video, but I've been going through and breaking down how XRP works, how the actual tokenomic structure is set up, how their advertising is set up, how their business model looks in the future. And I'm excited to put that video out. I also know that video is going to come with a little bit of pushback in certain regards, because I do really believe in XRP, and I truly believe that XRP is going to go up. Of course, not financial advice, but I do not believe XRP is going to go anywhere close to what some people have said. I think XRP's price is going up. I don't think it's going to, I've heard some price tags thrown out on XRP that really kind of grind my gears when I hear them, because they're delusional. They don't make any sense from a mathematical standpoint, but I am working on that one, and I would love to talk with Mel Carmine about XRP. And so, Tim Fu, if you have any way to make that one happen, please let me know. I'll be there. I want to just spread the word, and so I will go anywhere where they will give me a time to let people learn about what our financial system is going to look like in the future. I will go anywhere. I'll go on any channel. I'll go on the most left-wing crazy channel ever, just for the chance that maybe I manage to save a few from their delusion. And so I will go anywhere. I just want people to learn. I want people to be aware. I am so tired of living in a world where we have, I mean, think about it. We're never taught how to balance a checkbook in school. We're never taught how to deal with our finances. We have no idea what interest means when we come out of the school system, if we just learned what our teachers taught us. And so I am very, very committed to making certain that I manage to get as many people as possible aware of what's coming. Oh, Grumpy, thank you so much for joining. And Grumpy says, hi, Kukla, Zester, and gang. Cannot stay long, but we'll be watching the replay later. Thanks for your hard work, Zester. I appreciate it, Grumpy, and appreciate you jumping in. Oh, howdy, Mary Jones. And is Kukla not the absolute best, guys? Make certain that you always do throw a thumbs up over to Kukla's way because she works so hard and she is such a wonderful lady. We are all so lucky to have her with us. How is our sweet Tino? Our sweet Tino is currently sleeping with his paws all up in the air, and so I'm probably going to just go ahead and harass him real quick, and then after that we're gonna run through quickly the rest of the hellos. And we're gonna jump into the news because I do have to jump after that one, and so we're gonna go ahead and have our Tino time real quick, and then we will get over to the crypto news. Come on, buddy. Yes, I know. I know. And so Tino, of course, he's decided that the 5 p.m. time is essentially nap time. And so he seems to be sleeping pretty much every time I go on stream now. But he is the absolute cutest. I am not happy to be leaving him for a while. I am definitely hoping that little Tino forgives me, but I've already set up a whole bunch of people to come hang out with him throughout that time, and so he is not going to be in any way alone during it in the slightest. Everyone wanted to come hang out with him, and so he is going to be well entertained. You want to talk in the mic, buddy? You're welcome to speak your piece. It's so funny when he's tired like this one. All right, buddy. We got to keep going. We got news to go through. I'm looking forward to that cooking there, Kukla. Nancy STL, there is not a special code as long as you go through and you utilize the link actually through the link tree. And so I will go acquire that one very quickly. And so if you utilize that link, you will get your $10 of Bitcoin with your purchase. And so it makes no sense. It's the same price either way. We might as well make some free money while we do it. And so it does take 30 days. It does take 30 days, but it pays off. It absolutely pays off. All right, though, guys, I do not want to run through everyone quickly, but I ended up spending a little too much time going through with hellos and answering some questions. So I do need to kind of run through a bit of this one and go ahead and get us moving over to our news of the day. So let's go on over and start with this one because we are looking at a lot. Of course, our biggest thing that we want to be keeping an eye on is the Bitcoin halvening. We are on really the final countdown at this point. And so April 19th is the current projection by the clock in terms of when we will see the Bitcoin halvening. And we're already seeing so much craziness going on inside of the market on account of that and in terms of the buildup. And remember what I've talked about previously, guys, in regards to the Bitcoin halvening, the market has already kind of acted ahead of time. And so the expectation from many inside of the space is that we will actually see a negative day on the Bitcoin halvening. We will see a lot of sales. And that is currently kind of a belief. Now, maybe this belief is being pushed, this rumor is being pushed out in order to incentivize us as retail sellers to go ahead and sell out. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's institutional investors taking advantage of us. We know that that is a more than common occurrence. And so that is a possibility. But in all honesty, I think there's something to be said for the fact that the halvening day may not be as exciting as it has been previously, or maybe a little bit more tumultuous than some people are expecting. And that's in and of itself, that's a huge debate that's currently ongoing in the market. And you actually also see in this countdown that the time is changing rapidly. And so we are not certain when the actual moment will occur, but we are we are expecting it currently for the 19th or the 20th. I think there are a very small percentage that are calling on the possibility of it being very, very late on the 18th. Otherwise, 19th is kind of looking like our general trajectory right now. And yes, Grumpy, absolutely. CEO Brad Garlinghouse expects the total market value of the crypto market to double to over $5 trillion this year. We actually had that one in an article the other day, Grumpy, because I do like listening to Brad. I don't think he's always right, but none of us are. We're none of us are always right, and he has some very insightful comments at times. He just lays it out. He doesn't really obfuscate. And when we look at it, judging off of his expectation, keep in mind the current is 2.72 trillion. It is the current market cap of the entire crypto ecosystem. And so that expectation that Brad is talking about is essentially a doubling of the entire market. And so that would lead to massive price increases pretty much across the board when it comes down to it. Wouldn't matter what you had. Brad's saying they're all going up by the end of the year. And I feel like many people inside of the space are kind of leaning towards that same idea where we think the market is planning on going up this year, but we're not all agreeing on what day we think it will. And so I think Brad was smart. Brad said by the end of the year, and he gave himself some wiggle room. I would actually agree with him. I don't know if I necessarily agree on 5 trillion. I think 4 trillion for total market capitalization on cryptocurrency will occur before the end of 2024. That is my personal expectation. And so I'm looking towards that one a little bit more conservatively. Of course, you guys will probably have already noticed throughout listening to the stream, I tend to lean towards the lower numbers. I've always been the type of person, I plan for the worst and I hope for the best. So whenever I look at prices, whenever I do price predictions or things of that nature, I tend towards the lower end of what I believe is possible. That's just me. I'm that type of person. I tend to be slightly pessimistic. Slightly pessimistic. I try not to be a bummer, but occasionally you got to be. And I do remember I don't remember who had suggested the meme token Michelle Obama yesterday, but I did think that was funny. I put that out to the team, and it may end up actually happening. There may be a Michelle Obama, and then I can go ahead and maybe use an image of Michelle Obama for whenever I am a Debbie Downer about the prices. And so I think Brad is in the ballpark. I mean, of course, he has a bit of a bias and an incentive to say that it's going to go real high, but I do believe him. I think he is correct. I'm just not going to throw an exact price tag on it. I'm going to go more conservative at a 4 trillion market cap. Still an absolutely absurd increase. Tim Fu, under promise and over deliver is always a good policy. So exactly. I always feel like you're better off going that route, regardless of what you're doing. I think this is more of a universal life lesson I've learned that when it comes down to it, yeah, exactly as Tim Fu said, under promise, over deliver, then everybody's happy. All right, jumping forward to the next one, guys. We've got, of course, our crypto quant update of the day. For those that are not using this one, this is so easy to jump in and see what the market is feeling like on a daily basis. They even use little smiley faces. You know, you don't even need to do anything more than pull this page up once a day and look at the smiley faces. I know that's an oversimplification, and these are extremely complicated titles, but they've made it easier. We are seeing exchange reserves are in a positive, and that means there are less Bitcoin, there are less cryptocurrencies sitting inside of exchanges, which means people are not planning on selling them. If people are planning on selling, they move their crypto to an exchange so that they'll be ready to click the sell button. That's where this statistic comes from. It is always considered a very, very positive metric. It can change rapidly, of course, but it is always considered a positive one. And then, of course, fund premium. We have seen high fund and ETF buying pressure. And so we're back to the same point where we're looking at a supply shock because we see the ETFs continuing to buy at massive, massive amounts. And remember, the amount of new Bitcoin is about to get cut in half. And that means this high ETF buying pressure is about to become far, far more impactful in 9 days. In 9 days, that buying pressure is going to run out the available supply. Right now, there's only about 1.9 million Bitcoin that are quote unquote even considered possibly for sale. And so remember, there's 19.7 or 8 million Bitcoin that are in circulation that people own, companies own, people hold in their wallets. There's only about 1.9 that are even available on an exchange, whether that's buying or selling. So that's not even the closest number of how many are actually for sale. This is an extremely, extremely bullish sign when you see ETFs buying, and you know that in just a couple days, the amount of available Bitcoin is about to get cut in half, and we continue to see ETFs buying in large amounts. That's a positive sign when it comes down to it for the halvening and for what is occurring. And so, of course, guys, remember this goes into way more than just that. CryptoQuant is free. I absolutely recommend this one. When it comes to the do your own research, this is the place to go for it. And it's not just Bitcoin. It is a long list of tokens that you can go through, and you can get a daily update on what the numbers are looking like. And so, absolutely, guys, CryptoQuant, that is crypto, QUANT.com, is free. Don't pay for it. I've seen the paid service. It's not worth it. But it is so helpful to just take one glance at it and have an understanding. You don't have to go through and research everything. You can just kind of take the easy road. What did CryptoQuant say? CryptoQuant says this is what it's looking like. And then, all you got to do is hit up CryptoQuant, see what they're saying. You hit up CoinGecko, you check to see what everything's going on like, and you don't have to sit there and worry about your holdings throughout the day. And so please do consider utilizing those. I will actually go ahead and I will drop CryptoQuant right into the chat room, because seriously, guys, that is an extremely, extremely helpful website for just kind of taking the idea of going out there and doing a whole day of research to find out the answers. You can just click on the page and you have so many things to go through. And actually, once you are over to CryptoQuant, Trish, you can go over to QuickTake. And so your link is going to send you to the summary inside of charts. You would come over to Insights and QuickTake. And now you can go through a bunch of different pre-chosen economists, financial advisors who are going through, and they're showing what they're thinking about for the day. And so there are so many very convenient tools to be had here. And then there's even more when it comes to the research. You can actually come in and legitimately go on to immediately see what is the summary of the day coming out of the talking heads. It's particularly useful. But why did we see cryptocurrency drop down today? Well, Dow falls 400 points. Treasury yields jump after strong inflation data. The inflation data, strong inflation data that's a nice way of packaging that crap sandwich, because strong inflation data kind of indicates that it's positive. And the last time I checked, 0.4% per month inflation was not considered to be positive or strong news. I mean, if you're rooting for the enemy, it's strong. Are you rooting for our dollar to be worthless, CNBC? In which case, I guess it's strong data. But yes, we had absolutely horrible data come out in regards to inflation. We are expecting, what was it? 3.5% year over year inflation and 0.4% for the month of March. And so I expect this to continue to get worse. Absolutely expect it to continue to get worse, because we know that it is going to. The US government, the Fed, hasn't stopped. They continue to print dollars. They continue to fund projects. And I'm just going to start using projects for the things that our government chooses to fund internationally, because it's apparently it's just nothing more really than this administration's pet projects. And we know then that they're continuing to print dollars. It's not stopping. It's not slowing down. And so I expect this number to keep going up. And as I have talked about previously, I believe in the long run that we will see cryptocurrency benefit from high inflation. It is strong logic that why would people continue to buy and utilize, regular currencies, their fiat currencies that are constantly printing more dollars when they have a place to go? We know the rules in crypto. We know how many tokens exist. At least here, you can escape that inflation concern to a degree, especially in comparison to what is currently going on with fiat. And so that of course, y'all probably already have checked some of that out. But as we continue, Bitcoin price surprisingly strong as hot U.S. inflation data throws Fed rate cut story into doubt. Where's next for Bitcoin? And so this story goes and it ties right back into what I've been talking to everyone about. When it comes down to it, high inflation should result in cryptocurrencies prices going up. What has happened in the past is the price has gone down when we saw bad inflation, because investors started to rotate their money back and forth to cover their traditional finance. And so in order to cover those type of situations, they would sell some of their crypto. They'd move it over to different sectors. And that created a little bit of volatility. But look what's happening this time. And it's all a matter of one day, one time, it will happen. And we'll no longer see the price of cryptocurrencies fall just because the price in the stock market falls. And so look, Bitcoin price surprisingly strong as hot U.S. inflation data throws Fed rate cut story into doubt. I say it again, because this is an extremely good article. Extremely good article. Personally, I don't think I've ever found one from Joel Frank, the author, on this one on Crypto News, but this one is perfect. He has got it understood. He gets what is actually happening, and he gets that we all expect it because that's what's happened each time, but it doesn't make logical sense. And so this happens to be one of the rare times where the price of crypto is not doing the same as what the stock market is. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're still 0.8% up on the 24-hour. And that is despite the fact that we saw the stock market fall 400 points. And so we see terrible inflation data. We see stock prices falling. And we see crypto up 0.8% on the 24 hours. I think investors and I think people are starting to understand. So here's a fun one. Senator Elizabeth Warren slams the push for stablecoin bill, cites a national security risk. So Senator Elizabeth was criticizing the push for a stablecoin bill without anti-money laundering laws in place, citing national security concerns. A Monday letter to House Financial Service Committee Chairman Patrick McHenry and Ranking Member Maxine Waters reveals. Do you think Maxine Waters has any understanding of what cryptocurrency even kind of is? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way Elizabeth Warren understands it. There's no way. And so I don't know why we care, but I do care about the bill. And so I do care about the regulatory framework in regards to the stablecoin market. And so I absolutely don't care what her opinion is about it, because I know she's not looking out for America's best interests, but I do care about how this bill goes. And so this is going to be something to keep an eye on over the next couple of months, because the stablecoin market is huge. $107 billion just in Tether. USDC, 32 billion. You know, the stablecoin market is easily 150 to 200 billion strong. And so this is an extremely important bill when it comes to keeping the United States investors competitive. If we enter into a situation where our US government handicaps us again and again and again, which they have done, we have been handicapped as investors in cryptocurrency by the US government countless times. And that is allowing other countries to get ahead of us. When it comes down to it, India is the #1 adopter per capita of cryptocurrency. #2, Nigeria. You know, we are getting left behind. We are allowing our money, and we are allowing the future of financial institutions and the future of technology to be taken by other countries because of the way our US government is so ignorant about what is happening. They are, quote unquote, protecting us. And while they are protecting us, they are also ensuring that all of the major companies in the space, all of the innovators, all of the people that are going to control the future of finance are not established in the United States. It's the degree of ignorance that is required to continue to push cryptocurrency companies out of the United States is absolute absurdity. We should be rolling out red carpets for these companies to establish themselves in the United States and to build their business here. What we're doing instead is we're saying you're better off establishing your business in the British Virgin Islands. Go establish it in Bahamas. Maybe you'd go in Belize. Maybe go and make one in Singapore. We are creating a situation where we are telling the best and the brightest Americans to screw off. That's what we're telling them. We're saying you're the smartest, you're the best, you're making the best products, your company is the most successful. You are actually building towards a future of decentralized finance that we would all benefit from. And we're going to tell you to leave the United States. Stupid isn't even close. It really isn't. And I can absolutely and will absolutely levy this same claim against all administrations since the beginning of crypto. This is Obama. This is Trump. This is Biden. It is short-sighted. It is absolutely ignorant when it comes down to it. We are shooting ourselves in the foot. We are harming Americans. We're harming our future financial success, and we're benefiting some countries that are opposed to us. And I mean, we know that crypto is being employed by China. We know that Russia is utilizing it. We know that Iran is utilizing it. We know that North Korea is utilizing it. We know that crypto-friendly countries and crypto-friendly organizations are seeing massive amounts of dollars and benefit come into their nation. Why don't we want that too? We should want that. We should want that money. We should want those jobs. It doesn't make sense to me, but it makes complete sense that Elizabeth Warren would be trying to make everything worse because, well, I guess she got busy, I guess she got bored. All right, though. Moving forward, the saga continues in regards to Binance and Nigeria holding a Binance executive hostage. Binance executive Tigran Gambaryan transferred to an underground jail cell as Nigerian crisis escalates. And so, as you guys know from having actually watched this one, and in terms of the show, that Nigeria has been holding Binance executives. One of the Binance executives actually managed to flee the country about 2 weeks ago. He broke out somehow of his holding and managed to flee the country. And now that means we only have one last Binance executive being held hostage by the Nigerian government. What they're trying to do is say that because he is a Binance employee, he is responsible for the actions of Binance. And so they are actually charging him with, I believe, tax evasion and tax fraud. And they are holding him with an expectation of a prison sentence of 40 years. He has not gone to trial. They are illegally holding him. Nigerian's government is trying to find any scapegoat that they can possibly blame for their complete lack of understanding about how a monetary policy works. And so they are attempting to place that blame on cryptocurrency. They are holding an American hostage. I think that both Americans, both the US government, everyone should be far more upset about this than anything, because this really has far-reaching repercussions. They are holding a guy who has no decision-making power in the Binance organization. He is just a pawn. He was there for nothing more than to just check things out. He is not somebody that had any decision, ever made any decisions. And now we see a government holding a member of a company hostage underground in a jail cell because of what his company did. That's not how the law works. That's not how the law in any civilized nation works. It's not the law that we should allow to occur in our country. And we absolutely should not allow other countries to hold people hostage. When it comes down to it, this is absurdity. This is absolute absurdity. I do believe that he is the ex-IRS officer. Is still the one being held. And so it is quite funny to know that the ex-IRS guy is being held on charges of tax fraud and tax evasion. Maybe now he knows how it feels. But it still is an absolutely ridiculous thing to be occurring. And Michelle Nuth, isn't the USA the largest currency holders? Can we make a difference after the RV? See, that's true, Michelle. We're the largest holders of cryptocurrency on the planet. And we're telling the crypto businesses to leave. And that means these crypto businesses are bleeding US investors' dollars. They're stealing our money. And our own government is the reason that they are. These companies don't want to move to another nation. You don't want to set up in the Bahamas when you're making a company. You want to set up your company inside of the United States. But the United States is saying, we don't want your company. And Bahamas is saying, we love your company. And that is creating a situation where US investors are spending their money and they're putting their money into these crypto companies. And those crypto companies aren't US-based companies. And it's not because they don't want to be. They want to be US companies. The US government is too darn stupid to figure out what's happening. The US government is shooting all of us in the foot. We are pushing these companies offshore. And at the same time, we are causing massive inflation, which means US investors are buying cryptocurrency to avoid the inflation. We're sending our dollars out of the country, not because anybody wants to, but because of the US government. And so if there is any degree of stupid, I mean, I know that we all know when it comes down to it that our government is, it does its best. We all know that. But the degree of stupidity required to push crypto companies offshores is absolutely incomprehensibly large. It is no different than the administration saying that we don't want to be energy self-sufficient. It is equally ignorant in my mind when it comes down to it. It's really it's a similarly destructive thing. where we're going to say, no, we're going to keep, refusing to allow new oil wells to be drilled inside of the continental United States because we want to incentivize companies to go towards green energy. Okay, that's fine. Well, what's the rest of the world doing? And what does my car still run on? What does the power facility that generates the electricity for my Tesla still run on? What is the machine that digs up the lithium that you need, the blood lithium that you're stealing from third world and developing countries? What fuel does the machine that digs it up use? They all use fossil fuels. Their green plan is not green, and it's the same idea here. Their financial plan is to ensure that Americans are behind the eight ball. They're ensuring that we're behind and other countries are ahead of us. And so I am absolutely exhausted with that one. And I could probably rant on how dumb the US government is in regards to cryptocurrencies for 24 hours straight. So I will give everyone a break in regards to that one. Kukla, actually, there will not be one on Friday, and that's because I will be in the air during our normal time. And so I am considering making an announcement where I will go live once I land in Nashville for a crypto update and a news session. And so please do stay tuned to the Twitter and things of that nature and the Discord. I'm certain Kukla will help me out on getting the news out there, because we will likely end up with a stream that day, but it will be at a different time because I will be in the air during our normal stream time. So thank you for bringing that one up, Kukla. That was a great one there. All right, jumping to the next one. Yep, another article discussing the same one. Detained Binance executive in court on Nigerian tax and money laundering charges. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And so Binance and two of its executives, Tigran Gambarian, a U.S. citizen, and Binance's head of financial crime compliance. So the guy is there to try to help the government. And they're like, no, we're going to charge you with 4 counts of tax evasion and money laundering of over $35 million for the actions of their company. This is, kangaroo court isn't even close. This is a circus. It's a circus over there. All right. Bitcoin's bullish quarter eases consumer skepticism, according to Deutsche Bank. And so 40% of respondents to the German bank survey said Bitcoin will thrive in the coming years. 38% said they expect the cryptocurrency to disappear. And so this is another one where we're just looking at general sentiment. What are the average people that are talking to Deutsche Bank, that are responding probably to an email chain saying, I would hate to be amongst the 38% because they're going to be in a bad shape in a couple of years. But who's to say? When it comes down to it, cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. Crypto is a mainstay. You're going to be hearing about blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies for decades, for probably a century, until something new comes out after that. But it doesn't mean Bitcoin will end up being the answer. The technology is the answer. The technology is untouchable. Bitcoin, that in and of itself, there are questions in regards to it. But when it comes down to it, crypto is never going away. You're stuck with it. We're all stuck with it. It is reality. Bitcoin, I don't personally believe Bitcoin will ever go anywhere, but it is not technically impossible. And so I won't sit there and make a presumption that I can gamble on that one, because I can't. All right, though, going to the next one. Billionaire Arthur Hayes says Bitcoin price action before and after halving could be negative. And so I do want to warn everyone about this one. He isn't absolutely agreeing with me. He has way more money than me, but he agrees with me. We do not know that the Bitcoin halving this cycle will result in a day of positivity. We do not. When it comes down to it, I am leaning more towards the Bitcoin halvening day being a day of the price falling. I am not positive in any form or fashion, and I'm not betting on it. I will be sitting back with my hands underneath my butt as I sit on them, because I am not making any gambles on whether Bitcoin halvening is going positive or negative this year. I know personally that I do feel very confident that following Bitcoin halvening, we will see a boom in the market. I do not have any bets though on whether it will occur that day. Keep in mind, a supply shock takes time. It's kind of like, if a company had already manufactured enough of a product for 6 months, and so there was enough of their product on the market to fill 6 months of need, but then their production got cut in half and they couldn't keep going. Well, then for 6 months, the market would continue as normal. And so I think with the Bitcoin happening, we need to look at it that way. Kind of think about it as if there are a certain amount of Bitcoin that have already been manufactured. They are on inventory. When that inventory runs out, we're going to see the price skyrocket because there's less supply coming in to replace the inventory as it leaves. That's the way that I am looking at it. That's how I think about it. I don't think about it as being that day. I think about that day as being the beginning of a supply shock. Then you can kind of wrap your head around why it doesn't occur then. The reason we'll see the price either plummet or rise that day will be entirely a matter of speculation. It won't be a matter of fundamentals. And so I would rather look at what actually makes logical sense. And in that regard, the logical sense is saying that a supply shock will come. All right, moving forward, though, because I believe we are just about done here. We have got Hong Kong said likely to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs next week, according to Reuters. And so we have yet another major marketing center that is a major financial center. My apologies. That is planning on going with Bitcoin ETFs. And so yet another positive sign in terms of traditional finance moving into the space. Of course, it's always a catch-22. The traditional finance comes in. All of us that have held crypto benefit. People that maybe end up using cryptocurrency after all the financial institutions have already gotten in may not benefit to the same degree. For now, though, it's a positive sign. And Hong Kong moving forward, hopefully, will also be beneficial for the people of Hong Kong in terms of fighting against Chinese overreach in terms of the control of their currency. And so I'm hoping that this ends up being positive news for both the freedom of Hong Kong and also positive news for the Bitcoin markets. All right, last article. This is just, I went ahead and I brought this one in the other day, and I am just going to keep including it on the vast majority of the streams in terms of the links that I post inside of the Discord. It is just so people can go through and look at some of the tokens they hold and see what other folks are saying. I am not endorsing their statements. It's just every day you get an update. And so I know that those are two of the things I like to check out. I like to check out Crypto Quant, specifically the chart summary for the day. This is part of my morning. I go in, I check. It doesn't take me more than 30 seconds. All right, I kind of know what's going on. I come over and I go, are any of these tokens ones I'm worried about? If I'm not, I go, all right, you have a nice day, Rakesh, and I don't worry about it anymore. But I will have that one in there. Every day, Cointelegraph puts out the price analysis of the day, usually on the top 10 cryptos. Occasionally, they'll throw in something else. But it's just kind of a nice way to quickly get the news. I don't like going through and having to spend a ton of time when I'm busy. I'm trying to get out to work. That's not the time in the morning where I want to be really digging into things. I prefer to do that one later in the day when I have some free time. In the morning, I just want the information, and I want it like that. And so I use Crypto Quant and I use Cointelegraph for their daily updates, just on account of that one. And it just makes it easier. Yeah, get me through the process. Let me go on with my day. I'll dig into it later But at least then I know I don't need to be freaking out. I can kind of have an understanding of what's coming up. All right, though, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And Crazy Chester, Hong Kong has been completely taken over by the CCP. Yeah, absolutely. It was many countries failed in their duties to defend democracy when it came down to not being willing to stand up stronger for Hong Kong. We all looked by and we watched as Hong Kong citizens were willing to throw their lives into the line in order to try to protect their freedoms, and we did nothing. We did nothing. Everyone else did nothing. Now, us on an individual level, many people did support it, but our government didn't. And our government claims to be the defenders of democracy, and yet somehow we were unwilling to defend their democracy. And we didn't need to do anything more to defend that than to speak up. That was all we needed to do, was to speak. It's not like we needed to send bombs or some crap. We didn't need that. We just needed to speak, and we didn't. And so, another failure of the U.S. government. Added to the list. I don't know who's keeping tally, but I have to imagine they've run out of chalkboard to tally it up on. So, yeah, absolutely crazy, Chester. That's why I do hope that we see a little bit more financial freedom for the people of Hong Kong, because people of Hong Kong know what a democracy is. They've lived in a democracy. I don't think they're going to be happy going back to, going back in time and going back to ancient history of what was at one point considered to be a possible solution to a government structure, and now has very, very simply been proven throughout human history to not work. And so I can't imagine they're happy about it, and I hope that they do manage to get more access to cryptocurrency so that they can fight the good fight, get their money out of the Chinese-controlled system, because they are never going to be free when their money is controlled by the CCP. Not once, not ever, not for a second. Oh, Mary Jones, thank you as well. And thank you, David and HK and Trish and Overcoming Victory and Bear. Thank you guys so much. And I will try to enjoy the trip. I will also probably be doing live streams and things from on the road for the next week. And so please do keep that in mind, that times may change up a little bit, but I'm going to be going live no matter what, to make certain that we're keeping up with what's going on, because the countdown is happening. Remember, guys, something absolutely crazy will happen. What that is, I do not know, but something crazy will happen. And so I'm not going to be avoiding. I will be here for all streams. I may actually have more streams than I normally do. They're just going to be at different times, and it's because I'm already going to be paying attention. It's my future. It's the future. I have to be aware of what's going on, and so have no doubt that you're going to be seeing a lot of streams coming up to it. I am very, very much reticent in regards to I'm very, very hesitant, I think I should say, in regards to what will occur as we get closer to the halvening. I think we're going to just see extreme volatility, and I think we're going to see the price collapse on that day. Not by a lot, but we're going to see the price go down, and then we're going to have to wait for the supply shock to occur. If we see the price go up on the day of Bitcoin halvening, then we need to expect the price to come back down, because there isn't a supply shock yet. There's about to be one. It's going to happen, and the reason it's going to happen is because of the ETFs. It's right there. It's that buying pressure. The ETFs are buying like crazy. That is going to create the supply shock. Absolutely. And so I will be looking forward to talking with everyone at a different time on Friday, but I am going to try to go live to go ahead and go through the news of the end of the week. And I am not certain what time it'll be. It'll probably be later. And it may even be from the PPN event in Nashville, Tennessee. And so thank you guys so much. Maybe that has figured it out. Maybe it is something to do with the top of my new mic. I think I might have figured it out, guys. But Crazy Chester, what I was saying on that one is, if Bitcoin drops to the halving, would you buy? No. I am not planning on buying Bitcoin during the halving. I'm not planning on selling Bitcoin during the halving. My Bitcoin is going to sit on my hardware wallet throughout the halving month. Probably throughout all of April, it is not going to leave. I believe sometime before the end of the year that my Bitcoin may move. Until then, no. I don't plan on it. Now, Crazy Chester, if it does drop an absolutely insane amount of dollars, I will buy. But if it drops to 50K, no, I'm not buying. If it drops lower than that, I'm probably going to try to see what the going price for a kidney is on the street. But not if it's just not if it's not, but so insane, essentially, is what I mean, because I don't have faith in this happening occurring on time. I think it's going to be a delayed process that pulls out throughout this year. How do we Kathleen Miller says, how do we get the time you'll be on? And so, Kathleen, I will post it on both Twitter and also inside of the Discord. And so Kukla also will probably help me out and post it inside of the Telegram for the original Mark C. But with that link tree there, Kathleen, you should be able to get over to either my Twitter or my Discord. Either of those, you'll get the announcement. Discord gets every announcement I make because it's actually built to do that one. And so anytime I do anything, well, Discord tells you about it. And so if I go on, make a tweet, Discord tells you. If I go live on YouTube, Discord tells you. And so please do look towards Discord or Twitter in order to see what time I'll be going live. But otherwise, thank you guys so much. I need to go get ready myself because I'm going to have a busy evening, as I believe I will be jumping on to Whiskey and Wisdom. I got to make certain that I've got my chair, my shirt ready for that one. And so I'm going to make certain that I'm prepared. And thank you guys so much. Thank you, Melissa, for being the first, for having your first time watching live. Thank you so much for joining. And we are so happy to have you. And to everyone, have an absolutely blessed evening. And I will see you over on Whiskey and Wisdom at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the original Mark C. Thanks, guys.